was with my team, and a lot of them are plat high gold.
Okay.
So I'd probably say around there.
Okay. And is it a 5 stack? I'm sorry, say that again.
No, it was actually this one is a four stack with the Mal'Ganis was a
The mana.
red.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay, so let's take a look at the draft real quick. So their composition has Arthas and Artanis, Asmodan, Lucio, and Greymane. They have a very beefy composition in terms of just the sheer amount of health bar that they have. And then you guys have Mal'Ganis, Whitemane, Raynor, Sonya, and Jaina. Okay. So purely composition wise, I actually really like the Sonya pick of the options, specifically because they don't have any sort of interrupts for spins, which is really nice. You don't have a you could have used more percent based damage, so I would have also been okay with like Malthael here, but I think the Sonya you can get a lot of value, especially if you're playing Wrath of the Berserker and getting a lot of value just by keeping it up. As far as fights go, yeah, so you do have the Raynor and the Jaina. So I think most of the time you are going to be killing somebody in their front line. You're not going to be like diving backliners too much. I would not take leap this game for sure. Um, your composition absolutely can kill a frontliner. Um, as far as crowd control goes, you have the slows from Jaina, you have the slow from Whitemane, and you have a stun from Mal'Ganis, which you can follow up with a spear. It's not a ton of crowd control, but it is enough that you guys can land kills. It's going to be a little bit difficult to catch Lucio in crowd control, I think, this match. But yeah, as far as the solo lane goes, you're up against Artanis, and that's a positive matchup for Sonya, so it should be good. Let's take a look and see how this goes. As far as this map is concerned, one of the primary, most important things to be doing is making sure that this camp is getting done as soon as possible and as soon as it's up. It's very, very, very important. This camp in the middle, if left unchecked, will take an entire gate on its own, sometimes a whole fort on its own. And if if you time it correctly, you can basically have that coming out every minute and a half, which alleviates tremendous amount of pressure on the rest of the map because it means that they can't be full focusing on the objective. If you have that pushing, somebody has to go clear it. If they don't do it every time that you do it, that means you have a leg up. You can go do yours or you can push with it. It's really strong to push with it because it gives minus armor to anything that's defending. So it does minus armor to the buildings, but also to the heroes. So that's why pushing with those camps is really, really, really good. Um, Ideally, you want to be able to time, if both teams are doing it simultaneously, you want to be able to capture yours just after theirs so that the line of scrimmage is right here, so that the towers are helping you clear it, but not actually pushing. They're still clashing there. But that's not really your role as a solo laner. Most of the time, it's not going to be you that's doing this. You're going to be focusing on the solo lane, which is fine. Right off the bat, so you head to a different lane. Jaina is not here, so that's fine. So you guys don't want to clash mid. Yeah, no need to do that. So this is pretty risky already, just by being here 3v5 for your team. That was kind of initiated by Mal'Ganis going in with the sleep. Not much you can do about that. What you can do is immediately, as soon as the wave comes, soak it very fast. Try and clear it as quickly as you can, and then start rotating up this way and prevent anybody from rotating down for free. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so kind of bully him out of here before
Yeah,
they
so
get down again.
by clearing the wave fast, you're causing your minion wave to crash on their towers, which will die quickly. And then if you're stalling them here, then they're gonna miss all of that soak, which is really good. It means that even if you lose a kill here, you still come out ahead by doing this. That's why it's not good to always clash 5v5 mid, especially at the lower tiers when people forget about experience. So
It's
as in
definitely not
fact,
helping that Jaina took a minute to get there too.
yeah, sure. All right, so you have 2 people die in the mid. Okay, Artanis does make his way. It looks like he went the safe way. He did not go down here, and nobody's soaking up here. So this is a little bit unfortunate, but okay. So you have so nothing can interrupt your whirlwind. That's important. That means that every single time that there's a full minion wave, you should be trying to use your whirlwind to heal up off of the minion wave and possibly the hero. The only thing you have to be careful about in this lane matchup is getting swapped into towers. Even if he does it once, you probably won't die. If he does it twice in a row, you might die. So that's why it's important to keep yourself topped off with your whirlwind. And let's see, what talent did you go for? War Paint. Okay, so that means you basically, when you have this talent, what you want to be doing is you want to be auto attacking, not using slams unless it's on the hero to try and push damage. So for the most part, you're trying to maintain a high amount of fury while using whirlwind for sustain. That's the real goal.
Yeah, I think I have a kind of a
Get the globe too.
Slam, just like on cooldown almost.
Yeah, that's definitely a mistake. When you're playing Sonya, emptying your rage bar is not a position you want to be in unless you have a spear available. You want to be consistently between 50 to 100. You don't want to be like going past 100, of course. If you have almost 100, then by all means spend some slams. But there's no downside to, like essentially you're giving yourself more options by keeping your rage bar higher. So just in general, keep your rage bar high, especially if there's no heroes nearby you. If you're just clearing minions and stuff, just keep that rage bar nice and high. So at this point, if you had 40 rage, you could be whirlwinding and you'll definitely survive unless you get swapped like that. But so yeah, definitely the biggest issue that I saw here was just not focusing on using whirlwinds on the minion wave and the hero to keep yourself high health. If you're high health when they come to gank you, I don't think you die. I think it's because before anybody arrived, you're already at like 40% life because you're trading with Artanis with slams. Yeah, focus on the sustain with Sonya for sure, especially in this game where they can't interrupt you. And I do hope you go for the full whirlwind build because it's just really strong here because they can't interrupt it. Okay, so yeah, a little bit of a shaky start, but that's okay. You can come back. Nobody's taken the camp just yet, which is a little bit problematic, but you catch most of the soak here. So at this point, yeah, just start auto-attacking minions. Just start auto-attacking minions, get your rage up. Don't worry about the that guy. I would not use your spear here, and I would not use whirlwind yet. Because one, you want to be able to save your spear in case you can land it on him, or if you need to get rage immediately. And the second thing is you don't need any health right now. So the only thing you should be doing is auto-attacking these front minions and basically starting to build up your rage so that you can start to zone out the Artanis.
Okay, yeah, like I said, when I play her, I do tend to just go like straight whirlwinding to clear the waves as fast as possible, and that is kind of a
so you can do that, but not when there's heroes nearby so much. Because when there's heroes nearby and you're full health, it's better to hold on to it a little bit. There's also just no current... So once again, yeah, so your health bar is already back down to 50-60%. And that's because you wasted your whirlwind for not healing purposes. This whirlwind in a full minion wave heals you about 20-30% each wave. And if you hit heroes, it heals even more. So... yeah, so right now your health bar should be closer to like 80% if you had saved your whirlwind for a more opportune moment.
And I do tend to use my spear on engages even on minions too, so that is another habit I need to try.
This whole time you could still be spinning on him. It's just you out heal while you're spinning, so that would be fine. Another thing that I noticed is that you just want to start to get the combo down. So you can Ancient Spear, Slam, and Whirlwind almost simultaneously. Like if the Ancient Spear connects, you can immediately QWE, just 1, 2, 3, really quick, and that'll do a lot of damage. It's like your burst combo. You can also do it after this. It's a 1 second cooldown, so you can do QWE, cancel E, W again if you have enough rage for it. Okay, missing a little bit of soak top, still no camp out. So you used your tap. So yeah, a lot of this is just, you're not really gaining any trade because he's getting full shield value. He's got the parry talent. So I really want to see you only trading while Whirlwind is available. Your auto attacks on him are going to heal for less, right? Because you have War Paint, so 30% of the damage you deal is healed. But you're hitting him with a 75 armor up, so you're hitting him for 25% damage. So you're getting healed for 30% of that 25%. It's not high healing. So the auto attacks would be better spent on minions and then whirlwinding on cooldown. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, land a spear whenever it's available. Good dodging. And just keep your fury high. Yeah. So right now you could have just been auto attacking. Maybe use a spear and then back up. You could do that. You can use your spear as a rage gain tool if you don't need it. All right. So these guys are now taking the camp. Nobody's soaking just yet, but that's okay. Mal'Ganis dies in the mid. Okay. But the camp is coming out. That's better late than never. They haven't done theirs yet either, so it's okay. So yeah, once again, the lane is getting a little bit pushed out, and they're coming to try and gank you a fair amount. These three heroes. You shouldn't be under any threat of ganks as the Sonya in this matchup, purely because of what I was talking about with them not being able to interrupt your whirlwind. So what that really looks like is just you need to be using whirlwind more frequently. That means fewer slams, more of your rage gets converted to whirlwinds, and that'll mean your health bar stays higher throughout the laning phase, and that means it's hard for them to gank you. And if they do try and gank you, you're going to heal off them with whirlwind, and they can't interrupt it. So. The objective is about to spawn, and you're not topped off, which is a little bit of a problem. You don't have your tap. You can get mostly topped. Yeah, definitely don't be slamming right now. No need to slam. Just whirlwind and keep your fury high. So the rest of this should just be auto attacks. No slams. Okay, spear is fine. Okay, this is good. Now you're topped off. You've got a good amount of fury. Your camp is pushing. You guys should be pinging this. You should be, let's go. I don't know why everyone's going bottom. Be pinging this. Okay, getting some push bottom is okay, but I'd rather see the objective. This is kind of a waste of time. So they timed their camp a little bit after yours, so it's not ideal timing for them, but it's still better because they're going to have this cleared. You're not going to be able to get this objective in time, and then you guys have to handle this. This was this was a waste of an opportunity, I would say. Okay. Okay, Jaina is going to go clear. And now Mal'Ganis is starting to go in. So the spear off of the sleep does not connect on the hero, though, because of the minion. But either way, this fight is not beneficial for you guys. That's okay, so you went Shot of Fury here. Definitely don't agree. The slows and roots here is going to be significantly more beneficial, not to mention the cooldown reduction. You really want to be using Whirlwind on cooldown, and that's what this allows you to do. It makes it into a 3-second cooldown. And more importantly, you can get out of Arthas roots and slows, which is really, really nice. In fact, later on, you could even go for no escape, which would make you like, you're just flying over the battlefield. Like, they can't run away from you, even though they have Lucio speed. You should be able to catch them most of the time, unless he's like amplifying it. So I would definitely have recommended going for Hurricane Year. The spin is decent. Okay. Still a lot of stuff pushing here. Only one person needs to clear this. The rest can be sort of posturing defensively. Okay, you go to soak. You guys need 7. They should be going for the objective right now, but doesn't look like they are just yet. Nope. Okay. And now you guys can... they're going to try and collapse on you. No, you're fine. This is pretty good. Spear this? Yeah, this guy could die. Yeah, you probably could have used your whirlwind immediately after slamming there. Like, do the combo I was telling you. Q, W, E.
He might have been dead,
and he's dead,
yeah. Because
the boop was a little late. I just, yeah, definitely... he still dies, but... You could have confirmed that kill for sure. You soak one more wave. The rest of your team should probably go do this, and then you can soak this. But, okay, that's fine. Okay, you get another kill, but they're going to get the objective control back. It's probably worth... Oh, I'm not sure why Jaina dies there, but okay. Yeah, okay, so just in general, when you're in this position where you're capturing the objective, it's not worth chasing kills most of the time because it means you're going to lose the objective right after that. You'd need to get like probably more than one kill to make it sort of worth it. In this case, it was a trade kill. So definitely not worth it because you're going to lose the objective control. What this just means is that your team needs to be staying closer to here. If they come up and fight here, then it's fine. You can kill them while still maintaining control of the objective. But if you chase down here, you're going to lose this. The first objective only takes 30 seconds, so it's pretty easy to hold it for 30 seconds if you're staying in this vicinity. Awkward, the minion stalled it. Okay. Okay, nice. Got your WE combo. Just getting lots of kills, catching back up. You just want to stay in this area. They're still contesting it, so you want to stay in this area. Don't worry about anything else right now. Make sure that that finishes the channel. Keep your Fury bar high based on auto-attacking on these minions, and be ready to follow up an Ancient Spear on a slept target or a stun target. Yeah, all this time you could be auto-attacking this minion or threatening to go on the Grey Mane. Right now you're just eating a lot of free damage. Okay, Spear misses because you're not using it to follow up on a specific thing. The spin is not ideal either, but you guys get the objective. You can back off. Just, I'd probably tell your, just ping retreat at this point because there's nothing else to fight over. You can start heading for the far lane. Good. This is all fine. Okay. So at this point, you want to be getting your Fury very high. You want to get it to 100 because you want to be able to spend all of the Fury while you're under the aura because it amplifies damage and spell. So yeah, yeah, I would have held the spear. You want to basically prevent Arthas from being able to defend. That's how you get the most value, is by preventing them from DPSing the objective while you either zone out the hero or do damage to the structure. So at this point, you should be pressing up aggressively. Okay, so you're going for structure damage only. I'd prefer to see you sort of zoning out the Arthas a little bit more, just standing nearby the objective and just like slamming him on cooldown if he comes up to it. Because you can chunk him down to maybe 60% life so that he feels he might not be able to step up as soon as this gate comes down. Okay, he's going to run to you, which is really good for you. You should be able to win trades also with Whirlwind because you can't stop it. So a Spear and a Whirlwind, and it's really good for you. Yeah, really good. Once again, if you had been slamming him a little bit earlier, he'd be even lower right now. Be even better. You got to be zoning him out more. Like, there's no reason to be backing up right now. You have all these minions. You have the objective. You have vision of the rest of the map, so you know that there's no real threat to you right now. Backing up here is definitely the wrong move. Gives them a lot of free time to clear. They do get level 10. Yeah. I think there's a world where you could have killed him in this scenario. Not to mention, you could have gotten at least the full wall, if not more. Because you can bully Arthas. There's no reason why he should be able to get any auto attacks off on the objective. If he gets more than like 2-3 auto attacks, you kill him. So definitely could have played this a lot more aggressively, and you need to know when you can be aggressive when you're playing Sonya. They do have the level 10s now, so it is time to sort of play a little more passive. But it was just Arthas here, so I think you were completely safe. So the tower goes down of its own accord, which is good for you guys. Once you get 10, let's take a look at your build. So you went for the Poison Spear here. Yeah, so I definitely don't love that. I think that really your role against this composition is just to be forever living with whirlwinds in their base. But you didn't take hurricanes, so I guess it would be kind of going into
counterproductive.
Yeah, sort of. Okay, so with the Poison Spear, it means you have to be really good at landing your spears. It is a strong talent for sure. It's double the damage, right? It's going to do the most, obviously, on squishier targets. That's the best case scenario, but they have 3 very beefy targets. So once again, I don't think this is the correct choice, but now that you've taken it, I would say whenever possible, be only using your spears to follow up crowd control if you can, if possible, because that makes sure that you don't miss it. And I do hope you go for Wrath this game. Just walk away, buddy. Walk away. Whew. Close one. Okay. So they have a lot of people up top right now. Nobody's bottom right now. Everybody. Okay. So you have your camp pushing out mid. It would be good if your team were to push that out together as a group. There's no reason not to right now. Yeah, there's a lot of wasted time on these rotations. Yeah, this is a good collapse. Like, I would immediately press Wrath, Spear in. It's 1 versus 2, but there's no way that they can kill you if you're whirlwinding. Like, no way. So your team should be collapsing with you, but even right now, you could go right in. They have minus armor already up on them. So start Wrath, Ancient Spear, go in. You're running backwards.
I walked away.
Yeah, okay. So you do connect the Spear, though. Yeah, you're still sort of walking away from their team. You want to be in the middle of their team. You want to be whirlwinding right here so that you're whirlwinding in the middle of the minions as well as the hero. Just get that maximum value. Also, for the sake of body blocking afterwards, you want to be in a better position to keep auto attacking, body blocking, and getting more slams in. Okay, the spin is decent here too. Okay, I don't think you even need to walk away from the laser. Yeah, so really good. Get the spear. It's a kill. Another whirlwind. Really good. Really good. Really good. So this was definitely a fantastic moment for you guys to be able to push out with that camp in the mid. It makes a big difference. Makes it a lot easier to win fights. Okay, so you guys are sort of chasing. I don't know if... Okay, you connect the spear. Maybe it's possible. Maybe. It's got speed though. Yeah, a little bit of over chase, but this fort could be for free if you guys collapse on this. Instead, you guys go for the objective. Okay. Yeah, I think fort could have been free here. I would have liked to see that be done instead, but that's okay. You guys are a little bit ahead on experience. Oh, this is a little bit far out here. Okay. Swap. Rainer's in a little bit of danger. All right, let's take a look. So you popped your Wrath again here. Yeah, so you definitely want to be just kind of going in. There's about to be a bullet connecting on you, but you should not be worried about that. You're going to heal that right back up as soon as you whirlwind in the middle of 2 or 3 heroes. So there you go. Really good. Really good. Perfect. Dodge. Okay. Oh, that's there. That's your ring. Never mind. Okay, so you're a little bit low right now. I think tapping or going to spin on a wave is correct. Your team can take care of the rest of this. You can tap. Do you have tap? 5 seconds. Okay, so yeah. You can always go to a minion wave and heal up off the minion wave and globe. It heals for like a globe plus full spin is like 40% healing. It's a fair amount. You weren't spinning on the entire wave there because you didn't let the minions collapse fully, but that's okay. Less slams, more auto attacks.
Yeah.
Way fewer slams. You should be topped on health and have fury right now. At the minimum, you want to have 50 fury at the start of a fight. Every fight, have 50 fury before it starts and have your spear available. Because that means that when you spear in, you're going to go from 50 to 100, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's where you want to be. Because after you spear in, that's when you want to be able to either spam your slams or get more whirlwinds. So definitely starting the fight with a low amount of fury is a really really bad thing for starting fights.
I think for me, like a lot of the times I'm kind of banking on landing my spear to initiate and then have the fury.
Right. But yeah, sometimes it misses. You never know.
It misses a lot.
Yeah. And when that happens and you have no fury, it feels real bad.
Feels real bad. Yep. I had a game recently where I've never felt fury starved. Even though sometimes it looks like I am
Right.
here, I'd never really feel it.
Right.
But I had a game not long ago where I felt really fury starved.
All right, so real quick, in this position, so you pop your Wrath of the Berserker immediately. You have a full bar of rage, so you don't want to start with the spear. You want to just be slamming on cooldown on this guy. You can out trade, I believe, with Wrath of the Berserker up, and you want to try and stay on the left side of him so that if he tries to run away, you can. If he rolls away, you can follow him with a spear. That's the idea. So a little bit too early on the spear. I would cancel the whirlwind and then slam. Good. Okay, that's fine. That's really good. He messed up a little bit, but that's fine. So you definitely win that trade. Keep auto-attacking, auto-attacking. Okay. I would not spin here. Once you have your Wrath of the Berserker up, you want to be using only spear, slam. You don't really want to be using whirlwind for PvE because you're not generating any rage during it, and so you're not keeping your Wrath of the Berserker up as long. It only gets extended by both the auto attacks and the spears. So you want to be spending all of your fury on slams during the duration of Wrath of the Berserker.
And auto attacks extend it, don't
they?
Doesn't
Do.
it?
They do. Yeah. So yeah, each of these little tick, tick, tick. You can keep up your Wrath of the Berserker for a very long time if you're using spears on cooldown plus auto attacks. But the whirlwinds are going to be basically just dead time. That's time where you just lose Wrath of the Berserker.
Yeah.
It's only decent if it's in a team fight to do that, because then you're getting a lot of value from... You generate rage from taking damage as well. And usually if you're whirlwinding in the middle of the team, you're going to be taking some damage as well.
And initially with this build, I know I had actually planned on trying to go for the Rampage.
Okay.
But because in the spear build, that's kind of what my goal was here. But I think if I remember correctly in this game, I end up going Giant Slammer because they have
such really beefy team. Okay. Yeah.
But does going spear build and then changing to instead of going Rampage Giant Slammer, does that really kind of hinder the build over? Like, is the right choice just to kind of go with Rampage regardless, or would Giant Slammer be a smart choice?
No, I think the Giant Slammer is a better choice here than Rampage. The primary reason being auto attack wise, like against their team, they have Arthas for auto attack slows, so you don't really want to be building into an auto attack build in general. Most of your damage this game should be spell damage, so I think that the Giant Slammer is fine. I personally would have gone just even more defensives. I would have gone for Nerves of Steel on 16, because especially if you're going for no escape on 13, that's my personal preference. You probably wouldn't even need it because you should be able to spin to win so much, but that's just my personal preference playstyle.
Yeah. And I kind of missed out actually. Like I haven't really played Sonya for a long, not like. Obviously, like Shot of Fury is kind of like an old dead. I think it used to be used before Whirlwind got buffed, and I never really played Spin to win Sonya, so I haven't really tried that build out yet.
Gotcha. Yeah, for sure. I mean, this build, yeah, like even Poison Spear used to be even stronger. It used to be, I think, 150% increased damage over time, over 6 seconds, and that was the talent to choose. Nowadays, I feel like it's really a toss-up. You can go for any one of the other talents. If they have no interrupts, then I would say Life Funnel is just always amazing combined with Hurricane, because you literally can't die in team fights if they can't interrupt you. It's not possible. And Battle Rage can be worth taking in certain circumstances as well. So definitely not, every game pick this talent anymore.
I've only really gone Battle Rage once, and I think that was because of Hanamura or
yeah, sure.
Yeah, ones where the camps are like really devastating to keep control of.
For sure. So you guys get the first rotation on this. This is fantastic. You guys clear this. So because of this, you guys can push this out really hard. You can definitely take this wall. It's good for you guys to fight underneath it, but you have to stay together. No? Okay, Greymane's top. You guys want to kill Greymane? That's okay. I don't know if it requires all 5 of you to do it, but I guess there's nothing else to be done about it. Oh, hello. They were trying to boss. That's very strange. Okay, so I think you guys can still win this fight even though you lost Jaina first. And it's all because of you, because you can just spin and spin and spin. But you're spinning on one target right now instead of spinning on 4 targets. That's a problem. Yeah, you need to be positioning yourself much better for whirlwinds. You're just positioning very passively, like as if you're playing slam build, sort of, so that you keep everything in front of you when you want to be sort of in the thick of things. Okay, so your team is starting to get picked off. Good spear connect. The whirlwind is decent, but not quite enough. The slam is good. Okay, he does end up getting picked off with the spear damage, it looks like. So yeah, even though you guys lost the first 2 heroes, you guys are still going to win this fight just because they can't deal with you. And this is without even taking those 2 the spin to win talents. Like, your health bar is not going anywhere in these fights, you know? Pretty incredible. Okay, so this camp's available again. And look at that. You get a free keep because of that camp push. By clearing theirs first and them not dealing with it, they lost not... There was a wall here. They lost the wall, or not the wall, the 2 towers. 2 towers and a full keep. And they lost all of it because of a camp.
They were baiting boss pretty much too.
Right,
yeah,
right. Exactly. It's insane. All right. Okay. Camp is still available. You guys have same talent tiers. You're starting the channel. You have your Wrath available again, so yeah, you can stay here and just spin, honestly. you could fight this. Yeah. Giving back the control here is kind of unnecessary. Okay, so they landed the cursed bullet on you, and you don't have a whirlwind for a little bit, so that's going to lead to you dying. Yeah, if you had whirlwind here just like 2 seconds sooner, you're alive. Okay, so this fight goes against you guys. What can they get for this? Probably just the objective, honestly. They could go for a boss, but I don't think it's worth it for them. They should take like this fort plus the objective. Okay, so they actually don't quite get the full objective. You guys make it back in time. You have Wrath back available. Okay, so yeah, you just need you need to be the one who's distracting them, not channeling. So I'd try and get Wrath out, start spinning. Okay, Wrath comes out. I think you missed your spear, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it doesn't work out so well. So the main problem in this fight was just you were the one who was trying to channel the objective. Somebody else needs to do that, probably white main. And you need to be trying to push them back, you know, keep them distracted. By standing still, you made it an easy target for a cursed bullet. And, you know, it's not the worst thing if you get hit by a cursed bullet because you can heal it back. But definitely, yeah, you just need to be getting more value from whirlwinds all around. Even without the whirlwind build, you can still be getting so much more value by hitting more targets. And I think you could have used Wrath of Berserker a little bit sooner that fight. You could have used it just like immediately and started going in on them. Just in general, I feel like you're playing very passively this match.
Yeah. I have a tendency to be a little more passive.
Yeah. Okay, so you guys clear bot first. Somebody needs to one person needs to be dealing with this, not just to clear it, also to soak the 20. You guys don't want to be defending this too hard. Like, if they get the mid keep, so be it, but you guys need 20. Okay. It's decent. Okay. I don't know about this. Alright, so they've just dropped 2 ultimates. They're level 20s. Really, there's no reason to fight. Just back up. Hopefully your team sees that. Does not appear that they see that. Okay, the unkillable. Doesn't matter. You do get 1 kill. 2 for 1. Oof. Rip. So yeah, I do think that the I would have liked to have the Nerves of Steel combined with the Whirlwind Talents just to make sure that you're unkillable. There's obviously a couple of scenarios where that could have come in handy already, but mostly the problem here is you guys just are forcing a fight that you don't want. They have 2 ultimates that just got popped in this position right here, so you guys just need to walk to your towers and wait them out, and then as soon as you guys hit 20, you win the fight because they're a couple ultimates down. Big value from Mal'Ganis. Can they still take this keep? Yes, looks like they can. Good thing he didn't die there. That would be very bad. Alright, the keep's dead. Okay, so this takes a little while, 50 seconds. You guys have plenty of time. You have the level 20s back. All right, I want to. This is probably going to be the most important fight of the match. While you're here, I would use a spear just to get your energy up. There's no immediate rush to get here too soon. Yeah, and you still have 0 fury. Definitely don't want to start a fight this way if you can avoid it.
I didn't really want to initiate because Mal'Ganis was basically dead.
Right. Oh, yep, that's no good.
Yep.
All right, so now, not only that, but you also didn't use your Wrath first. You generally want to start with Wrath because it's increasing the damage by 40%. And your Spear does a lot of damage, not to mention you talented into it with Poison Spear. Oh, you went Composite Spear too. Yeah, I'm not a fan of this build. Composite Spear is just really unnecessary against their comp. They don't have like people that are that far in the backline, so you don't need the 50% range for sure. I guess you're taking it for the armor reduction, which is it's very aggressive. I don't know if it's necessary. Yeah, I think that if you took some more defensive talents, then I'd be more okay with it. It's because you have no defensive talents really that this becomes a very greedy pick, I think. Big Ring of Frost. Okay. Spin. Good. 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 You could be... So right now, in that one scenario I saw...
Maybe you're used to canceling it. I'm not used to like canceling the world. I think that would have...
Sure, yes, that too. But also, just so you see it, there was a situation here where you got rooted and slowed while you were spinning. If you had this talent right here, you'd be on top of them right now. Not to mention no escape. You could be spinning in the middle of them right now. Good. You got another spear. Oh, not quite. Okay, that's fine. All right. So you guys have 3 kills. They have... You probably could end, but it's a little bit iffy. You guys are pretty low, and White Mane doesn't have any mana. So I think the best case scenario is you guys grab the objective, grab this camp so that they have something to do. And that's basically it. You just confirm the objective.
Yeah, this is kind of where the game just kind of took a turn.
Oh, no.
The call was made to push.
Okay,
and
so...
the rest of us were thinking we needed to go back and get objectives.
Here's the idea. On this map, it's so much easier to end the game when you have 2 keeps down rather than 1. 1 keep down is very difficult to end. It's only like I would only ever make the call in a Storm League game, especially. I would only ever make the call to end the game with 1 keep down if you have all 5 of them down for like a long time, 50+ seconds. That's like the scenario where I'd be like, yeah, let's go end the game, because you have enough time to do it. And you don't have to worry about heroes making it a lot harder. He hits a lot harder as well with the... I think he hits harder. I could be mistaken, but I'm fairly certain that he hits harder. Maybe it's just because
It hits pretty hard in general, though.
he might just hit hard in general, and it just doesn't last as long if he's got fewer of these. But yeah, I think this is just generally very hard to end the game without having more than one keep down. So this map is very, like, if you're winning the game, it's because you have usually 2 or 3 keeps down, and then it's like GG. It's over because it's so easy to kill the core at that point. But there's a little bit of indecision here. You guys are trying to figure it out. What are you trying to do? Okay, right.
It's so visible, and then you see this happen.
Okay, yeah, I get it. You can spear over this wall here. All right, so you guys grab the objective. You could have done a boss maybe, but yeah. Just a lot of wasted time there, unfortunately. Okay, you guys are grabbing your camp. Would be better to take theirs. Just take it off of their hands. They can't do it then. One thing that I noticed right here is you're slamming a single minion. You could be standing over here and slamming all 3.
Yeah.
But just generally, when you're doing this kind of thing, you should be probably whirlwinding instead, because whirlwind does damage to all 3 for sure, and it keeps you healthier. So yeah, this is going to leave you a little bit damaged. Also, you used Wrath, which, if you can't keep that up, it would be bad. Really need you to keep that up. Oh, okay. So I would have used Spear to keep that up for sure, and try and keep it getting auto attacks as much as possible. In the next 38 seconds, you're not going to be able to, but it doesn't look like they're contesting it, so. All right. Okay. I'd be shocked if you don't end here, but I guess the only way that you guys don't end is if you guys lose a team fight right now, basically. So you guys really don't need to try and force here if you don't want to. You guys get... Okay, starts out okay for you guys. Okay. That's really good for you guys. That should be game winning, honestly.
Your optimism is very touching.
So once again, the same situation though. Like, you guys are pushing in the mid where there's no keep. I'd much rather see you guys, especially now that Arthas is dead, like, go to the next lane, get the next keep, and then end the game. They're gonna have to clear this anyway, so it doesn't really matter. You might as well get the second keep down and then go for core. Asmodean getting lots of value there. Okay, so this is definitely not where you want to be, especially without any of those defensive tools. This is sloppy now, yeah. Ooh, look at that spear. All right. Okay, but once again, the core is pretty tanky.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about this. This whole time, you guys could be... Like, you guys... this is going to take the keep if nobody defends it. And you guys can definitely take the bot keep if you guys are pushing it. So it should be... should be a scenario where you guys get three keeps for sure. And nobody dies on your team because you guys have 4v5. Instead, 2 people die on your team. Oof. Ouch. You could have dodged that there.
I got greedy.
Yeah. Okay, but really, more than anything, this is a macro issue because your team is choosing to... choosing not to play the map, basically. The map is about getting more keeps down. That's really how you win the game. So... So, like, in this position, actually, it shouldn't even be over yet because what they have to do is finish clearing, then take the boss, and then try and end with the boss. And by that time, you guys will be alive to defend, so it's not even guaranteed to be over. You guys have to lose another fight, basically, to lose the game, which is pretty insane. If they go straight for your core, which I doubt, I don't think they can end because of this double armor thing. So, yeah, I suspect they'll go boss. Okay.
I thought this was a perfect for a replay.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so here's the boss. You guys, eventually you want to be fighting under the core. The question here is whether or not you try and force before it gets to the core. I don't think you need to. Like, you can, but fighting under the core is definitely beneficial for you guys because the core is going to be helping you kill their heroes as well. And there's this whole area under the keep where they can't be near, which is really nice for you guys. It means that they're kind of have to be in this little choke point essentially. So it makes it a lot easier to land skill shots, especially for Jaina. Land a nice Ring of Frost. Yeah, I wouldn't say that the game's over at this point. Like, it shouldn't be. I think this is very defendable. Really depends on how this fight goes. I mean, it is over, I see, but let's take a look and see how and why. You do need to start getting damage on the boss, of course, so at this point, I would start trying to push damage, get your Wrath up, get a spear out on it, start building up your Fury. Start DPSing it now. Yeah, it's getting too much free walking time. A lot of free walking time. What are you guys doing back here? Okay, so you're just waiting a lot. Still waiting. Okay. Okay. Oh, that's not good. Yeah. Okay, so best case scenario in this position, you as the Sonya that should be unkillable based on a different build. You should be in their team basically fending 1 versus 4 and not dying. That's what you should be doing while your team focuses more on burning the boss and whatnot. Look at the health of the boss. Look at the health of your core. It's still fine. Like, your core is not dead. So if Mal'Ganis didn't die right away and you're in the middle of their team spinning on them and stuff, I really feel like this game doesn't need to end right now. It's very comebackable. Okay, where are you at here? Okay. So you're spinning on top of just one person, unfortunately. It's Arthas. He takes a while to kill. Dodge. No. Okay, you get hit by that stun. That should be game. Once again, you're spinning on one person. You need to be spinning in the middle, but core's dead now. Okay. Yeah. So this was definitely a good replay to send in because there's a lot of things that can be learned from. I think first and foremost is your playstyle is way too passive. You need to be more aggressive, especially against a composition like this. You need to be, like, at the start of every Sonya game, you need to see what can interrupt my spin. So, like, what do I need to keep track of? If they had something like an Uther, then you need to know, like, as soon as I dive deep and start spinning, he's going to stun me, and then I'm in trouble. So you need to wait and see when Uther uses his stun on something else, or even if he uses it on you, if you still have your Whirlwind afterwards, then it's fine. So... but against a composition like this where there's nothing to stop your spins, you need to recognize that and play to your strengths by building into the Whirlwind and making sure to use it in the middle of as many heroes as you possibly can. And that's why I would have liked to see the movement speed on 13 as well, to just be able to position it perfectly. Other than that, you guys also kind of just lost the game by being indecisive here. You guys could have either taken the objective or tried to make a core push, one or the other. I would have said go for objective plus this camp or whatever. There were also bosses that could have been taken. It's, a lot of different choices, but you got to choose one. And then more importantly, after you guys got the objective, you guys need to push a different lane. On this map, pushing a lane where there's no keep is just a big no-no. You never want to do that. It's kind of the same as Tomb of the Spider Queen in that regard. Tomb of the Spider Queen, you always want to push the lane where the structures are for the most part. You don't want to, unless it's a boss. If you get the boss on Tomb of the Spider Queen, then you can push the top lane and try and end with it. But the objective, they're pretty squishy, right? So they're pretty easily defendable, especially if that's where your heroes are, because it means that they can use their abilities to clear both the objective and zone the heroes. So just generally push where the structures are and try and get as much value from that as you can. As far as the camps go, Your team could have done the camp more frequently. It was done a fair amount of times, and sometimes you were helping and doing it as well. As far as the solo lane goes, more whirlwinds, more keeping your health higher to avoid getting killed or ganked. I think you should have been able to like bully Artanis a little bit more in the solo lane by keeping your health higher. Once you keep your health high with the whirlwinds, that's when you can start using your slams more. If you start with slams, then you start to get behind on health. So that's no good. And what else? I think that pretty much covers it. Do you have any like questions for me or?
Yeah, going back to what I had talked about earlier, how do I control the line of scrimmage?
Right.
Yeah.
Let's take a quick look at the beginning of the match. So, as a general rule, the way that it works is if you clear the minion wave first, your minions are going to start to collapse on their side. If they collapse all the way to the tower line, then they're going to get completely cleared, and then the next line will start over from scratch at the middle. But if it's not quite, if you don't clear the minions immediately, let's say that the minions are, let's say there's only this many left, for example. So in this position, what you could be doing right now is creating a new line of scrimmage. And the way you do that is by staying at maximum auto attack range of these minions, and then right click and slowly drag your mouse as slowly as I'm doing it right now. You would slowly drag your mouse closer to your towers, and what that's going to do is it's going to prevent them from actually getting any auto attacks on you, because they're going to keep on trying to auto attack, but they're going to fail because you keep on getting just a little bit too far out of range. And so they're going to very slowly inch up, get closer. You don't want to get them in range of your towers. You want them to stay like right here. And once they reach here, your minions are going to arrive. They're going to crash, right here. And the next minion wave, which on their side is right here right now, is going to eventually collapse here, because these minions will take a little bit of time to be killed by your minions. So that creates this line of scrimmage that is on this side right now. And that means that you could potentially not only soak safely because you're at a low HP, but it means that you could potentially zone the Artanis out of experience if he tries to come up. So really what it comes down to is patience and not knowing when not to clear the enemy minions. You can create... You can, how to put this? You can only really do it if the enemy player, if the other side, if the enemy solo laner doesn't play against it, if that makes sense. Like you can't.
So if you're the person who could potentially win the solo lane, is when you can do it.
Not only no. What I should say is if they never clear your wave faster than you clear theirs, then you can't stall the wave, because it's just inevitable that it's going to continue. It'll either stay neutral or you'll clear it faster and it'll go there. So basically, if you don't hit the minion wave and they don't hit the minion wave, nothing's going to happen. So if they're hitting the minion wave, that's when you can choose to stall the minion wave. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because I know in my mind, I kind of didn't. I wanted to learn how to stall the wave like that, because for the most part, I do tend to just clear as fast as possible.
Right.
So I use abilities and whirlwind and slam all the time on the minions, because I'm anticipating to send our minions to the towers to die, hopefully without them getting the soak.
Sure. But minions dying here versus dying here is a lot easier to deny soak from, right? So definitely when possible, keeping the line over here means that it's much less likely that they catch the soak. The only time where that's not the case is that first wave that I was telling you about, when you see 5 people in the mid wave. That's when you want it to die on the towers, because it takes a lot less time for the towers to kill them. But yeah, right now, you spinning on this wave is what prevents it from being a better line of scrimmage. Even with doing that, it's still going to be a little bit better of a line, but it's it could have been right here. And once again, right now, instead of clearing this minion wave, what you would be doing is getting mounted and just chilling, basically waiting to see who shows up. The moment that a hero shows up, then you run at them. Okay. But okay, I think that should answer the how to
Yeah,
stall the
it
minion
does.
wave
I
and
just have to
whatnot.
put it into practice.
It does take practice, and more than anything, it's just like knowing when and how and why to do different actions. Like sometimes it is better to fast clear. Like sometimes you need to be able to double lane soak. Sometimes you need to be able to soak quickly because you need a level. Your team's about to round a talent tier. So just knowing that difference of when to do it is going to come with time and practice. But just try to be more mindful about, like, do I need to be clearing right now? Like, is there any benefit to me clearing? So when you're full health and you already have full fury or something, most of the time the answer is no. Like, there's no real reason to do that unless you're trying to push structure damage, which sometimes you want to do, but other times that puts you in a lot of harm's way for a gank, because it's a lot of distance to cover if they try and gank you. So
But then I guess I can see the value of that, where what you were talking about earlier is that I should be just auto attacking, because it kind of keeps the line where it's at instead of it always moving towards
yeah,
them with my fast clearing.
yes, definitely. When I'm playing Sonya, I I don't know if I ever use slam on minions, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. Like minion waves, I either use a whirlwind if I need to heal or clear it quickly, or I just use auto attacks. That's it. I don't think I ever use slams. I use slams on buildings, heroes, and while Wrath of the Berserker is up, if I'm full energy, if it would be wasted otherwise. That's like the only time that I really use slam. So definitely.
And
Mm-hmm.
one question just outside of that, I just wanted to see what your opinion was as far as what potential the anomaly has that's coming in with the experience globes. How is that going to change, if at all, gameplay for her?
Great question. It's a little bit too soon to say exactly how it'll go, because there's going to be so many different matchups that'll change. But the general gist of it is that the regen or the experience globes are going to have a smaller radius, which is going to mean it's easier to zone out of experience other heroes. So it's going to favor any heroes that are more bullies, and so that includes Sonya. Sonya can be a lane bully. Heroes like Thrall as well, like any hero that has more sustain than the other hero, and poke. All of those are really, really good. What it's going to mean is that people who know how to do this sort of thing, where you're zoning out the experience by bringing the line of scrimmage closer to your towers, it's going to mean it's going to be a lot easier for you to deny experience to someone who's trying to soak it. A lot of times in these lanes, and even if the line is over here, you used to be able to soak it by being here, right? You can soak it by being almost at the halfway. Not anymore. I think you're gonna have to be like up here in order to soak here. So that's definitely going to make it harder for heroes that don't have forms of self-sustain in solo lane. Sonya shouldn't have any problems with that regard. Most of the time that she's soaking experience, she doesn't want to be that far away. She wants to be sort of closer to the minion wave. You want to be able to whirlwind on the minion wave to heal. So shouldn't be any different for how you play the Sonya, besides, once again, reserving your fury for slams on heroes only. That's the same advice that I gave you before is going to apply even more so with the regen change, because as the heroes, as they come in to try and soak that experience during that time, you can be slamming them and really forcing them to play more passively, which could lead to them not being able to pick up regen globes. The only other difference that it's going to make is that when you clear a minion wave quickly, like in that first wave scenario, clearing the wave really quickly may not be the correct option anymore, because when the minion wave dies and crashes on the towers, they're still going to drop the globes of experience, even if there are no heroes nearby yet. What that means is that there's a window of time during which heroes have more time to rotate, to catch experience. Even after the minions have died, there's going to be all these little globes that are just chilling here, so that they can eventually be picked up. I'm not sure exactly how long they stay on the ground for, but because they do fade, obviously, eventually. But with that in mind, it may be better to let the minions kill themselves. And what that means is that the best thing for you to be doing is just like sitting in a bush. If the same thing happens as last game where 5 people go mid and then you're in this lane. If you're sitting here in this bush, not showing on the mini map, they're going to think, oh, they're not soaking that lane yet. We're okay. And the minions are dying and you're still getting experience, but their team won't necessarily be. And if somebody tries coming up through this mud wave or this mud pit, then you can try and spear them and out-trade them, start the wave off really, really, really strong, or the lane out strong. Yeah, that's sort of how I see the experience changes potentially working out. I'm not a huge fan of them so far, but that's purely based on the theory. I haven't tested them, and I'm going to want to see how they work out in different lane matchups.
Yeah, I was kind of just thinking right now out loud, just Malthael, like in his potential. Like, is that going to seem less important now, or because if he's constantly out pushing, out soaking a lane, and clearing it fast, meaning all of their minions are now going to go die at their time, that's going to possibly benefit the other laner, right?
It would be neutral. It wouldn't benefit the other team, I don't think. I mean, Malthael is still going to be able to. He's got, assuming you're taking the increased mount speed at 1. He's going to be able to rotate faster and wave clear faster because that's what his hero does. And more importantly, he'll have no issue collecting the experience globes himself because he's melee and he wants to be in the middle of the minion wave. What it really affects is heroes that want to be able to leave the minion wave early, like a Murky, for example. A lot of times you want to be able to just drop your egg and walk away from the lane. And you can't really do that anymore because you're not going to get the experience from it. Same thing with like an Asmodan. You want to be able to dunk the minion wave, that, assuming that it's going to kill the minion wave. You want to be able to dunk it and walk away to a different lane. But you can't do that anymore. Abathur, your body soaking is going to be significantly worse because it's a lower range. So the only body soaking you can really do safely most of the time with Abathur now is going to be where your body's at the gate. And so minions that die by the gate, you're going to be able to body soak. But it's really not that safe anymore to be sitting, out in these types of bushes most of the time. I mean, it'll still be doable, but yeah. Yeah, it's going to change a lot of things. There's going to be a lot of differences in playstyle. But as far as Malthael is concerned, I think he's going to be benefiting from the regen changes, or from the experience changes. All of the bruisers, all the solo laners that have self-sustain are going to... It's not going to negatively impact any of them. It's going to mostly impact solo laners that want to... or like atypical solo laners, so like something like Phoenix, for example. Sometimes Phoenix can be a good solo laner, but in this situation, he can't necessarily always get super close to the minion wave if he's getting zoned out. So
like Zagara too. Yeah.
Right, Zagara or Falstad, like any of these ranged heroes that don't have self-sustain can get really hard bullied potentially. So,
and as far as Sonya is concerned, so I'm thinking that I know my playstyle is a little passive, and now I'm seeing that the experiences are probably going to force more needing to be the bully a lot more because we have to keep them out.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Sonya has the kit to be able to bully a lane, and with the changes to experience, it's going to be easier to do it. So definitely worth learning. I mean, it's possible to do it right now. It's just going to be easier with the change. So start practicing now, get it down, and it'll be even easier with the change. Okay. You have any other questions?
No, I think that pretty much covered all bases.
All right, man. Well, thanks for sending in the replay. It was a good one. It was very back and forth. And,
it really was.
Yeah, I thought you guys had it for sure, and especially once you guys had that last objective. But yeah, definitely a good lesson on this map in general, just because to know like when to push which lane and whatnot. Big difference based on the play style. So, all right, man, take it easy.
Yeah, thanks.